KJACK LP Flagstaff. You are listening to Summer Jam Sessions with Emma Keider on KJACK Radio. And if this is your first time listening, this show is all about showcasing local musicians and their music. And today we have Heaven Johnson with us, also known as Gal Gracious.
Yeah.
Yes. So you write and perform your own songs as a solo artist. So how are you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm happy to be here. Yeah.
Awesome.
This is my first live radio performance, so honored.
Cool. That is so. Most people that come on here, it is their first time performing on the air.
Better. Yeah. I've never even been in one of these kinds of rooms. So
really? Yeah.
A lot of learning.
It's gonna be a lot of fun today. So, is Gal Gracious your stage name?
Yeah, Gal Gracious is my stage name.
Okay.
And I got it through I was meditating. And I like to envision the fact that I got my goddess crown, so it's kind of birthed from that a little bit. So it's like the ultimate version of myself that I continue to try to be, So
cool. I like that. I also like your name, Heaven.
I know, that's what someone told me during one of my shows. He was like, "Your name's Gal Gracious, and
you also have
but
a
your
cool
name's Heaven."
I
was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Why did you do that?"
Did your parents just name you Heaven? Is there a backstory to that, or?
I know my mom was reading a book, and I think maybe one of the characters' names was Heaven, and I think it was right before she went into labor. And she's a creative person too, so yeah, that's as much as I know about it.
Cool. Yeah, it just runs in the family, creativeness. So you have a master's degree in public administration, right?
Yes.
Did you go to NAU to get that?
I did.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Very, very far from what I'm doing right now. But
yeah, I was gonna ask you that. But what year did you graduate?
Just this past fall.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I was working full time on campus too as an admin associate.
Yeah.
And you get the reduced tuition, so I was like, I should get my master's. And at first I really thought that I was just going to go into a traditional job and that's what I would do.
Right.
But once I started the solo project, I was just coming alive in so many different ways.
Yeah.
And everything just started to become clear as far as what my purpose actually was. And that's when I was like, okay, this may not be what I'm doing, but I learned a lot from that graduate school experience in general.
Yeah.
And you also just learn what you don't want to do and how good it feels when you're doing something you want to do.
Right. Okay. So you're solely working on music right now, then? You're not really using your public administration degree, or?
Technically, I'm still working full-time on campus.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so in some ways, I'm still an administrator, but...
Yeah, there you go. So
it's
you're
like living
using
in two worlds.
Yeah, exactly. So can you just talk a little bit about the history of this solo project and how it came about?
So I didn't start playing the guitar until, I think it was my junior year in high school. I took a guitar and piano class, and I knew how to do the piano, but never the guitar, and I wasn't that comfortable with it. But I think it was maybe 2010, I finally got my own guitar, and I would just play in my bedroom. And I had been in a couple other bands just drumming, and that was a completely naked experience for me, because I'd never done any sort of live performing, but something in my head was just you gotta try it, you gotta do it. And the first project I did was with really good friends, and that was comfortable. And then the second one was with new people, but it still worked out really well. And then I just had this vibe last summer where I was like, you know what, I should just give it a try, go to open mic night. So I went to Hops, and it's just a great space if anybody ever wants to try open mic nights.
Yeah.
Because everyone's so supportive.
Right. When do they have those?
It's every Monday night,
okay.
And it usually starts around 8. Yeah. Depending on how many people sign up. It may drag out a little bit. But
yeah. What was that first open mic night experience like?
Terrifying. I think I always have to use the restroom 3 times before I go on stage.
Oh my God, yeah.
So nervous. And I was shaking, and
oh God.
It was one of those things where I completely blacked out. I had to make up all my lyrics on the spot because I forgot my own songs.
Oh jeez. You just gotta get through that, and then you can keep going.
And honestly, I still do that sometimes.
Really?
I still will forget my own lyrics, and it's just this weird moment you have, especially last night I played at the Hive, and I was the last person to go on, and I completely was God, I'm a little tired, but I'm just gonna wing it, and
just roll with it.
Yeah, I've just made up my own stuff.
That happens with even people that have been doing it their entire lives. They forget their lyrics,
right? Yeah,
just all in the moment. So you started with the drums and the keyboard, right? You said, and then you learned guitar and you liked doing that. Those are very different instruments. I would say. So what do you like the most about, being a songwriter and playing guitar?
Honestly, it's just really cathartic for me. Because when I was playing alone, I would just get home after work or something, and I'd have some big emotion that I needed to get out, and then it's just how I got it out, and it's how I relaxed. But eventually I started to see that the songs that I would make up on the spot, because I would always record myself, I was saying a lot of how I felt, and then I was like, it doesn't sound that bad. It's actually kind of good. And I started to like it more. Yeah. And then after performing in those other 2 bands, just seeing how it goes, I'm like, it's not that scary. And a lot of times with those bands, we would make up a song the night before and just play it the next night.
That's awesome.
In front of a bunch of people, and it wasn't horrible. It was great.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect outlet to
right?
Express your emotions and get through life.
Exactly.
So let's talk about your songwriting, because you write your own original songs. What are some of the topics you like to write about?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd say they're all emotion-based from a moment that I'm having, but I like to write about things that feel empowering to women. In some ways it's like owning your true self, because I think I haven't finished my album, but I think it's just going to be this compilation of me trying to reach my like full potential, basically. Awesome. And each song sort of jumps through all these actual moments in my life where it's me trying to get somewhere, and you can see where I'm at in that song,
Yeah, it's very personal. That's awesome. So what is the songwriting process like for you?
Oh, it's like I'm going to vomit.
I love that.
No, I'm so serious. I'll be in a mood, and I'll be in my bedroom, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's about to come out.
Oh,
and
my
so
God.
I try to get my guitar, and then I get my recorder, and I hopefully usually I record it, and that's the way I want it to sound forever, because it's so perfect in that moment.
Yeah.
So I'll try to replay it based off that initial recording, which for some reason is really challenging sometimes, because when you're in the moment, you're on another plane almost, and you're doing things you don't normally do in the guitar or how you normally sing. So me even trying to mimic my own self is hilarious, for one thing. It's just ridiculous.
Oh my God.
But also a beautiful thing, because I'm like, that is me, and it's like, there's my true self, and I just need to keep trying to be that.
I am. Oh no. The truthfulness of it.
It is.
That's awesome. So, speaking of songwriting, who are some of your favorite songwriters or artists of today that inspire you?
Karen O is at the top of my list.
Okay.
For those who don't know her, she's from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, she has that epic persona where she is truly herself on stage, and she's not trying to hide. And aside from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, she did a solo project as well. And it was just really basic guitar work, but really beautiful lyrics, and she has a haunting voice. So that's always inspired me. And then I love Solange, Frank Ocean. I had a big 60s phase when I was a kid, so I got into Frank Sinatra, Billie Holiday, all that old stuff. And I also think I'm from that time period, which is why I connect to it.
I pretty much think I am too.
You really know.
Yeah. You just relate to it, and I mean, it's just the passion back then was just insane.
Exactly.
So, and it's hard to find that nowadays too.
Right?
So that is definitely the best.
I think so too.
So you're currently recording your first album?
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be a full album.
Okay.
I thought it was just going to be an EP.
All right.
But I had this break because I ran out of money to finish recording. And then I wrote 6 more songs that I actually really like. So I was like, oh, it all worked out.
Yeah, how many songs are on the
I think it's going to be 11 total.
That's a good amount.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to finish, but so hopefully I don't add any more to confuse myself.
Yeah, where are you recording at?
I've been doing it at the Mocap studio.
Okay.
It's really good music producers there. It's extremely affordable, honestly, but, living in Flagstaff is expensive.
Oh, yes.
So it's taken me a minute to finish.
Exactly.
But other than that, it's a good creative space, and even as a woman, I feel extremely comfortable being there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what has that process been like, and when can
Man. I wish everybody could have seen me my first day recording.
Oh, no.
I was like, one, I've never played my songs for that many hours in a row over and over again.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, so my fingers were raw. And then also just hearing myself, and I had this whole pressure moment, it had to be perfect. And the producer I've been working with, Andrew Gross, he was just like, you know what? you improvise a lot. He's like, you're great live. He's like, I can't even tell that, you know, you're trying or you're nervous. He's like, so just pretend like you're either live or you're in your bedroom.
Right.
And once I did that, like the next day I came in, it was much, much better. And my fingers were less stressed.
Yeah. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's
Yeah.
what it takes. That is what it takes.
And it was winter, and it was cold in there, and like, you know, winter moods.
Right.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So when can we expect this album?
I'm
come
hoping
out?
by the end of July.
Okay,
Yeah.
so really soon.
Yeah, really soon. Because I don't know, I'm ready to put it out there and see what happens.
Yeah, and where can people find it once it is released?
Hopefully everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my
On
goal.
all the streaming platforms?
Yeah.
Do you have a social media that they
I
can
do.
follow?
I'm so horrible. I'm not that big on social media, but I'm
Yeah, that's fine.
opening up to it, so
Uh-huh.
I will get an Instagram.
Okay.
And possibly Twitter.
Well, it's just good just because you can, you know, post about it. And
Yeah,
people can
I
find
absolutely
you.
have to. One night I played at Flag Brew, and this old guy came up. He's called Every Show Joe. And he was like, honey, I took some photos of you. What's your Instagram?
Yeah.
And that was the first moment I was like, shoot,
Uh-oh.
I don't have one. But this old guy definitely does.
Yeah.
And he just travels around, and he just takes pictures of bands. And yeah, so I just had a moment where I'm like, it's absolutely necessary. This old
Wow.
man has one, and I don't.
That's what it's come to now.
Yeah.
Everybody's on everything.
Yeah.
So are we going to hear some of the new songs on the album? today?
Definitely.
Cool.
And I'll definitely play some favorites that, you know, maybe some people have heard, but yeah.
Awesome. Super exciting. Well, thank you for coming on the show. You are listening to KJACK's LP Flagstaff, and this is Summer Jam Sessions with Emma Keider. We have Gal Gracious in the studio with us today, and we're going to hear some of her songs live, so stay tuned for that. We're going to take a quick break and listen to some live recorded songs that I think are really cool, and then we're going to come back and hear Heaven's songs. We love live music here.
I appreciate that so much.
Live music is the best. So we're going to start with All the Young Dudes by David Bowie, recorded live in Glastonbury.